So thank you so much for the question, and I'm very happy to be here today. So I believe that the business can create a sustainable purchasing policies. The hotel and restaurant can minimize the waste that generated by the operations by using the products and materials that is environmental friendly. And moreover, the business can engage in partnership program with local communities by select the local suppliers that is prioritized in sustainability and select the product with minimal packaging as well. And these will be the ways that they can generate an income to the communities and their society. Thank you.
Well, I think in order to create an exceptional guest experience, it is crucial to prioritize the staff well-being and growth. Think of them as if they are the heart of your business, not just workers behind the scenes. This way, you will most likely create a more happy and fulfilled staff, which will lead into a successful business. Because you see, without those people, your business or hotel is simply just a building. So, invest in your people. Focus on them if you want your business to be more than just a building. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is very my pleasure to be here. So, a great hospitality, in my opinion, we determine it by how well you can answer your customer needs because every person have different need. You don't know which person gonna need anything, but more than that, you have to find your strongest point to lure your customer in. Maybe it's your food, maybe it's your service, I don't know, but we have to try something more unique. Right now, art is more important. Maybe you can try merging Thai's art or anything you can come up with your services. But more importantly, you have to follow how the worlds are right now because the worlds change all the time. And even if you are unique, but you don't follow how the worlds are, your unique will be lost in time. So remember everyone, be unique and don't stop to be. Thank you.
That's a very good question with a lot of possible answers, and I find it very interesting. But here are just some of the few answers that I can think of from the top of my head. I think hospitality businesses can invest in multilingual staff, translation technology, or translated materials to approach and address language barriers. Implementing cultural training for employees can also enhance cross-cultural communication to provide a smooth communication and better understanding with both parties. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Well, to answer, I believe the most important thing is nurturing cultural pride and creating an environment that fosters innovation. By this, we need to embrace and not only embrace, but actively encourage out of the box thinking to innovate and create unique experience for our visitors. By this, we need to allow the newer generation to get their hands dirty because I believe that every idea flourishes when you're actively engaged because essentially we don't want to simply rely on borrowed expressions, but we want to create our own narrative. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. It is a great honor to be here and to answer your question. Let's start with something simple. Look into what the kind of people are coming into Thailand. Are they Asians? Are they Europeans? Or are they Americans? That will be the basis to mold everything around on. That will tell us what they want, and that will tell us what they desire. The other thing is to look into our neighbors. Are they competitors? Or are they somebody who can help us? This will also help us compete at a level that others really can't keep up with. But those two things, they're short, simple answers. They're not really enough to keep you going in the long run. That is where I hope I will be able to help you in the future. Thank you.
Growth in what? That's a very broad question. I'm not going to go into specifics today. We'd be here for 2 hours. The main things I can think of are the obvious ones, such as better communication with the police force or the Thailand Tourism Authority, pushing for more legislation that increases hotels, such as better tax subsidies for our businesses, or the ability for our security contractors to acquire restricted items so to make sure not only our VIPs feel secure, but they are secure. And, of course, pushing for the government and trying to lobby so that we protect what makes Thailand special and makes it such a good tourist attraction. So, if you want to talk to me after the show or you want to hear more about my ideas, feel free to. Thank you for listening. Good night, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much.
In my opinion, in Thailand, there's just like a lot of fantastic green space. So the hotel and the restaurant can be like cooperate with them, like the local farmer, like a local organic farm. So that will be help the farmer that improve the economy. And also the restaurant and hotel can be like get the good food at the lower price. And also when you use the locally ingredient, it can be help reducing the carbon footprint that caused by the transportation. And this will support the local farmer and also reduce environmental impact. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good job.
So I think the pressure to fit in can cause the younger generation to compromise their authenticity and withhold their own opinion. And that can hurt both the people and their organization. To solve the problem, you can create an open space for conversation and exchanging ideas between younger generation and older generation. For instance, let's say creating mentorship pairs between younger chef with an innovative recipe idea to an older chef who has an experience and can make the menu idea more practical. And that way, we can explore our thought and develop them within the guidance of professional. Thank you.
Very good.
This is just from my perspective. I believe that hospitality is an industry where everyone is familiar with smiling faces, people greeting you with, "Hello, sir, madam, how are you?" And people aren't familiar with AI being taken over by robots, which is currently what's happening. I don't know if you've been to London Heathrow before, but there are certain areas in London Heathrow Airport where there are check-in kiosks, same as King Fahd International Airport in Doha, as well as certain check-in kiosks being utilized in hotels, which people aren't familiar with, and this is what scares people. However, I believe that AI is something very useful. It can eliminate human error, it can make very precise calculations, and it also predicts things beyond human capability. So, for this reason, I believe that we should work with AI in the hospitality industry and not try to combat it in fear of it trying to take over the industry altogether. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
If we're talking about the sustainable for hospitality within the aviation industry, one of the most challenge is to find the alternative fuel source is like hydrogen, biofuel, or electric. Yeah, and they need to implement the effective flight route around the world, and also to minimize the food waste or the single-use plastic on board is very important. And the last thing is very necessary, I think, to educate and to encourage all the staff and all the passengers to offset their carbon footprint is very important. For overall above can make the difference for the future for sure. Thank you very much. Have a good day.